Hey guys, this is John, and I'm playing Metabolics, and looks like we'll get another Sicilian. What line this time? Another classical. I'll play the Richter Rouser again. Last game, I had like a minus 10 position for quite a while, or plus 10 position, however you want to look at it. I was winning, and proceeded to lose on time. So let's hope that doesn't happen in this one. Queen b6. I think I should just withdraw my knight against that. Maybe just bishop d3. So we have an opposite side castling position. He's going to have to move his queen again. Okay, so here, is he perhaps trying to play bishop h4, knight takes e4? That might be his plan. So I'm thinking I might just want to take on f6 and then play g4. So bishop h4, knight takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop takes h4, knight takes d6. That's playable for me. But let's just take. And then go g4. I kind of like the look of this idea. He has the bishop pair now, but my counterplay is pretty swift against his king. Bishop h4 might not be a bad move here, although it looks weird. He's going for both of my bishops, and he's also threatening to take on c3. So, ooh, I gotta be careful. I should play king b1. Yeah, king b1's good. And he's going to get my other bishop if he wants. And then I'll have to decide which way to capture, queen or pawn. I think I'll go queen. Even though that takes away an attacker of the g5 square, I think this is the correct capture. He wants a4, huh? He's also just giving me d6 if I want that one. I can play queen takes d6 and just go for an endgame. But I like my attack. Let's play for the attack. Maybe he'll take and then put the bishop on e5, though. That's an annoyance. I could actually take and then play e5 myself. It's kind of a weird idea. May not be that bad of an idea. Open lines. Take e5, he takes again. Then I probably take on g5. He takes with the bishop. I would be down 2 pawns at that point, though, with kind of nebulous compensation. But it's a blitz game. Let's go for it. Let's try it. If anything, I think he'll have a pretty tough time finding a defense. So let's go for this and see what happens. Now knight e4. I'm banking on the fact that a lot of his pieces are on the queen side, like cut off from his king. Okay, here I can just play knight f6. So if knight f6, he has to take it because king h8, queen h7 is mate. So knight f6, he takes it. I play a rook over to g1. He can block with his bishop, though. He can do that. I can play h4. Annoying. I want to play knight f6 now if I'm going to do it at all, though. Because if I don't, he might play f5 next.
Check.
So I think I kind of have to try this.
Check.
And now it will be a matter of, after h4, his bishop g5 is forced. If king h8, queen h3 is mate. So after h4, do I have enough to win this? There's some really cool mating ideas. Like, I'm actually threatening... Well, I was thinking if he plays rook d8 to hit my queen, I could take on g5, because if he takes my queen, then I take on f6, but he can ruin everything by taking on g1. So that's not good. What is he doing? Why that move? I don't get it. Queen takes... Okay, I don't get it. I don't see how that helped him. Just trying to offer a queen trade. Okay, here... Oh, I can almost do the idea I really want to do. Taking, and then if he takes a queen, take on f6. But he has queen g6 to block and spoil it. So how about c4? Do we like the look of c4? Just denying him the queen trade? I think so. Yeah, I think this should be good. These e4 games are fun. I need to play e4 more often. This was my main opening for white for a very long time, until I was a master. And then I switched to closed and semi-closed openings for the most part, and play e4 only very, very rarely, hardly ever in tournaments anymore. I just kind of got sick of like learning all the sharp theory. And somehow I felt with e4, I had less control over the game. Whereas with d4, even though there's like an equal amount of theory, I found it's easier for black to, or easier for white rather, with d4 to navigate the game into channels that they want. And so that's my personal experience with e4 versus d4. With e4, I always felt like I was playing into someone's pet line. d4 felt a little bit more, I guess, secure for me, and stylistically it probably matches up better with my strengths as a player. I think he's lost here. There's just too many threats around his king. He's going into the tank, but I don't think there's anything he can do. Yeah, especially with his queen cut off from defending the king. He's thinking for quite a while, trying to find some defense. Yeah, I think I can just take it. There's no bishop f5 or anything to worry about. He has to play pawn f5 now. But after queen takes e5, it's over. Threaten a mate on h8. So he resigned. f5, queen h4 would also work. Okay, so let's have a look. Some people play this move order, knight f6. It rules out a couple systems. Like with taking on d4, knight takes, and then knight f6, there's some people who play f3 for white in this position. So knight f6 is one way to rule out this move order. And after knight c3, I think it might also like address some other move orders like bishop b5 check, the Moscow variation. So after knight f6, if white can take on c5, but after knight takes e4, it's supposed to be fine for black. So as far as I'm aware, there's not really a drawback to this move order. I have one friend in IM who always does this for black, but you don't see it too often. Yeah, I'd say 95% of the time it just transposes. So I played this Richter-Rauser variation, bishop g5 again. This is the key test against knight c6. And then f4. White can play this setup in two different ways, either f3 or f4. Both moves are acceptable. So I played f4. Queen b6. I don't know about queen b6. It is somewhat of a concession that I have to play knight b3 here, because I don't want him to capture on d4 and simplify. But then again, I mentioned that his queen probably has to move at some point, because it's blocking his b-pawn. He doesn't really want it on b6. So castle, bishop d3, h6 seems inaccurate to me, because this always gives me like a hook on the king side. And a hook is when they push a pawn that allows you to grab onto it in a way. So let's say I had played bishop h4 here. We'll just make some generic move. I don't think this is necessarily that great of a move, but let's say I played g4. The fact that he's played h6 will allow me to play g5 and make contact with his pawn structure faster. And hopefully allow me to open the position quicker because I am making contact with his structure. But I decided to take and not lose any time. And now this g4 move. He jumped the knight in. Went king b1, I think this is good. Take. Here I'm not sure which way to take back. There is something to be said about pawn takes, which keeps the queen on the g5 pawn. But I ultimately decided on queen takes because I don't think I'm that worried like if I lose a pawn in the process of playing g5. If anything, that will just open the g file for me. And I wanted to keep an eye on d6 too. So it felt like the correct recapture. Let's just see what the computer thinks. Yeah, computer approves of this. And then a5. And here I could go into the endgame with queen takes d6. I had a feeling this would probably be better. But he might have a bit of compensation. And it was so tempting to go for the attack. So g5 is what I chose. And this didn't turn out half bad. And now e5. Okay, clearly the computer hates this idea. But my concern was that if takes, he was going to go here. And block up the center and the king side. It would be much better for me if he actually did take this pawn. At least I think. Computer, again, doesn't agree. But if that's the case, then I have a clear lane to attack him down the g file. I guess his bishop can come back to f6 and defend g7, but a human move would be bishop e5 in this position. It says the position is about equal. So let's see, after e5 take and then take here, how he's supposed to react. He did take the pawn. I got in here. Okay, so bishop h6 would be a better move. Then my whole knight f6 idea doesn't work as well, I guess. Because take... Yeah, and if there's a check on g1, king here, and queen h3 can be met by king h7. Apparently he's holding. Although, rook g4, yeah, trying to come to h4 could be questionable. And note I can't go queen d3 here because he'll play f5. He can start using this massive pawns that he has. This is like a blessing and a curse for him because if he gets to any endgame, he's just going to be winning. But these pawns prevent him from using like his queen in the defense laterally. So it almost cuts his position in half, having this giant E and F pawn cluster. Maybe the computer needs more time to look at this because to me this looks highly unclear. I mean, after bishop d7 and then here, it really thinks black can defend, huh? King g7, just give the bishop and then go rook h8. I guess it's nice for him that his queen defends g1. So I can never include my other rook in the attack. Well, I shouldn't say never, but at the moment I can't include that other rook in the attack. Well, I'd say for a blitz game, I like this sacrifice, even if the computer thinks I'm -2. So he chose this, and now I got knight f6 in. And as I said, if king h7, queen h7 is... Or king h8, queen h7 is mate. So he must take the knight.
Check.
Then I get the rook over. Yep, and h4. It's too bad there isn't like something a little faster, but I guess I should be happy that h4 is plenty fast. And his development is backward. He just doesn't have a good way to defend. The line that would have been really cool, like say he played rook d8, I really wanted for this to work out.
Check.
Right? Because then if king f8, rook h8 is mate.
Checkmate.
But unfortunately, he can spoil all of this because he can take on g1. And then I have no mate.
Check.
Response to a check with a check, and yeah, I'll just have to settle for something like this. Or he could play queen takes g1 right when I take on g5. So he could do that
check
right now too. Should transpose. But that tactical idea is in the air. Looks like king g7 is his best bet. Wow. Take. Interesting. And then if I take here, he runs to f6, and maybe it's not so bad for him. But if I play the calm move, rook f1, he's in big, big trouble. Threatening queen h7 mate. And if f5, trying to use his pawn cover, I assume I can just swing my queen over. And he's losing somehow. Okay, well, fun attacking game. h4, he played this. I just took the pawn. Yeah, taking the pawn seems fine. He went here, and then I blocked with c4, and there's no defense. Again, it would be really nice if this works. But this time, I think I mentioned this line, he can go queen g6 at the end. And it spoils the cool mate. The hallway checkmate. Totally spoils it. But I was on the lookout for that. If he had let me do it, I would have gladly seized the opportunity. He takes, yeah. Alright, fun game. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. And I'll be back with one more game today. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.